Hello again, this is Mr. Frazier, and I'm going to take you on a tour of Module 8. So let's go ahead and take a look at Module 8. Click on, and as you should always do, I personally say go to the Lesson Practice and Review, and at this spot, go ahead and print out all of your notes. Last section we dealt with multiplying polynomials, and this time we're going to deal with factoring, going in the opposite direction. So it's really important that you understood if you found the pattern with some of those special products where we multiplied, you're now going to see the answers and go, oh, well, I know what the multiplication problem is supposed to look like, so we're working backwards. This is where it gets a little bit more complicated. The use of the vocabulary is tremendous going forward and is probably about 30% of the EOC, chapter 7, 8, and 9. So it's really important that we get an idea of what we're doing and use it correctly. So topic-wise, here are some of the things we talk about. Greatest common factor, GCF, same thing you did when you use fractions. Then we're going to go through a process called factoring by grouping. This is a special way of factoring. It's usually when you have 4 terms. Yes, so that terminology isn't going to go away. That vocab is only used more and more in this section. So understanding what a term is, what a degree is, making sure that we put it in standard form. These are all things that should become habit now. We have factoring trinomials, and there's a bunch of ways we can do this. I've got a few of them that I talk about. They show you some videos on this, which is important because you should be watching these videos as they go through it. There are several different ones, especially with factoring, that you can deal. The factoring trinomials, yay! And understanding where you're going with this. So there are videos that involve this. I go through some things, and I may add some extra videos from when I taught in the classroom and show you some examples of things I used to do when factoring. There are several ways to do it. The fact is you need to use what you find most comfortable and most consistent to give you accurate answers. Then, of course, this last part, quadratic functions, will be applying all of the stuff that we've talked about, multiplying and factoring of polynomials. And then we'll talk about quadratic functions, and this is the real life scenario part. This is the part that gets more complex. So these 3 all build upon each other. Statistics is kind of the lone avenger. It sits there by itself. It's something that's important. But as we move forward, okay, so vocabulary to pay attention to: how to factor a difference of perfect squares, perfectly squared trinomials, and some polynomial functions. So these are used quite a bit in the next section. So we want to get this arithmetic piece down pat. So a lot of this is recognizing patterns and numbers, which is not easy. I will tell you that I have found it easier to identify things by putting them in categories. So for example, my perfectly squared numbers. And some of you are going, what is that? That would be the numbers 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, 169, 196, 225, and 256. Now it's being recorded so you can play it back, but those are all numbers that you get by multiplying a number by itself. 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4, all the way up to 16 times 16. And I usually put these on my paper so that I can visually identify, hey, wait, that's perfectly squared. I can see that number. I remember that number. It's a way of referencing. I would tell you that it will help you tremendously with some of these. All right. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing all of your fantastic work. All right, guys, keep it up. Remember, the EOC is coming down the road, and we're going to be using a lot of these skills. That, you'll notice some of these were used on the PERT, those of you who actually already took the PERT once. The plugging in of numbers and manipulating of polynomials is a big piece. All right, have a great day. Bye-bye.